Good evening, Tottenham fans. I want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas. I hope you all have a brilliant one. I hope you all have a good New Year as well, but I'll see you way before then. I just want to say a massive thank you this year for everyone that's contributed to this channel, everyone that's spoken to me and made me laugh. People, even the guys that disagree with me, really thank you for everyone that's contributed. It's been really much appreciated. This channel has grown from strength to strength, gone up to over 3,000 subscribers now. And next year is going to be even bigger for me, I'm sure. So let's get into today's video. In today's video, it's going to be about Spurs signing a couple of players. And the two players that have been mentioned a lot today is Savinho and Marmush, both from Manchester City. And the question of the day is, should Spurs sign Savinho or should Spurs sign Marmush? Should Spurs sign Savinho on a permanent or try and get Marmush on loan? Because I doubt that Manchester City would fully sell him. So in my opinion, if you think about a player like Savinho, let's start with him first. He's not really getting many minutes at Manchester City, and he's got a World Cup coming up with Brazil. He really wants to be involved in that. And if he's not getting minutes, he's not going to get minutes for Brazil either. Spurs put in 3 bids in the summer, all rejected. Savinho ended up signing a new contract. But now, again, I think Manchester City are looking to sign Semenyo, which means it opens the door again for us to sign Savinho, which, in my opinion, is very possible for this to happen. It really is. It's really possible for this to happen. And do we want him? Do Spurs fans out there, do you guys want Savinho? In my opinion, if we got the Girona version of Savinho, where he got 10 goals and 9 assists, or was it 9 goals and 10 assists, one of those way around, and he was flying. I think the first season for Manchester City, when he was only 19 years old, he got 8 assists that season in the Premier League, which is not bad for your first season in the Premier League as well. I think he only scored 1 goal that season, but since then he's not really had that much game time. He's still only 21 years old. He turned 21 in April, and he's got all the skill in the world. He's got all the pace in the world. He's a frightening player when he's on his game, but he hasn't got that end product. He doesn't score goals, and he gets assists, like I said, but this season, he hasn't been getting assists, but I think that's due to not getting many minutes, but also being played out of position on the right-hand side. He's predominantly a left-hand sided player. If Spurs can get him and play him on the left week in, week out, I do think he'll be a very dangerous player. I don't think he'll score the goals that we want him to score, but he will get many assists, and that's what we need. And I think with a Savinho on the left and a Kudus on the right, I do think then that teams will have to think twice about doubling up on Kudus, because they'd also have to double up on Savinho, which would open up a lot more space in the middle. So I think Savinho would be a massive asset to us, but is he any better than what we already have? Now we've got Odegaard on that left-hand side. He's very skillful, very quick. He can score goals and he can get assists as well. So they're roughly the same age as well. Savinho's like 21 years old. Odegaard's 20. So they're roughly the same age. Are we getting another Odegaard, or are we getting someone slightly better? In my opinion, I think Savinho would be slightly better. I think playing week in, week out, that would be his position. He'd be number 1. Frank would say that's your position until someone beats you to that position. And I just think he'd thrive with a World Cup coming up. And I think he'd work really well with Richarlison. Richarlison's on red-hot form at the moment, scoring all the time. And Savinho would link up really well with his Brazilian compatriot. So I just think that it would be a clever signing. But the thing that would be holding me back from signing him is Man City are asking for £70 million to sign this guy. And I just think if you don't want him, you're not playing him. He's 21 years old. He hasn't really proven himself in the Premier League. I know he got that 8 assists that one season, but he hasn't really proved himself to be a £70 million player. If we was to sign Savinho, we should come in at 40 million and say, and that's what we're going to pay for him. Because at the end of the day, if he's not going to get minutes, he's going to push to get out that door. And if he pushes to get out that door, I think we can get him for a lot cheaper. I would not be paying 70 million for him. Now, if we look at Marmush as well, Marmush normally plays in that number 9 role, which is vacated now by Haaland. And Haaland is a goal machine. He just never stops scoring. He's just you're never going to replace him in any side. No team's ever going to replace Haaland. So it's going to be very difficult for Marmush to get minutes, and he's not getting that many minutes. And I think he's a top quality player. Maybe I think he's in the in AFCON at the moment. So if he's in AFCON as well, signing Marmush, we might not get him till the end of January. So then, you know, we're missing out again on a player. We might as well sign him at the end of the transfer window. So that might hold us back as well. We may even sign him at the beginning of the January window on loan. Then he may get injured in AFCON, and then everything's all gone out the window. So I think it'd be a high risk. I think it'd be a high risk for Manchester City to do this as well, because if something did happen to Haaland and he got injured, Marmush is the only guy that can come in and take his place in that number 9 role, and that might really hinder their title chances. So I do believe that Savinho would be a brilliant signing on that left-hand side. I think it would be brilliant to get both. If you could get Marmush on loan and get Savinho on that left-hand side, I think our attack improves massively. I doubt we'd get both, but Spurs should inquire to try and get both, because it would be an electrifying front four of Xavi, Simons, Kudus, Savinho and Marmush. That would be pretty dangerous. But at the end of the day, I can't see that happening. And another reason why I can't see that happening is because we've got Richarlison, Solanke's still injured. We've got Mawani on loan. We've still got Tell that can play in that position. And that's another thing. I think Tell would need to have to go out on loan. I think Johnson's a lot of rumours that Johnson might be sold to Crystal Palace. So if Johnson gets sold, Tell goes out on loan, maybe even Odeberg goes out on loan, then we can get these guys in. But if we're going to send players out on loan and then bring others in loan, then we're just going around in circles. We need to get a settled side, and each window is so important to build your squad. And if we keep getting players on loan with no options to buy and sending them back, we're just going around in circles. So that could be a dangerous game to play too. All in all, though, Spurs should be looking at these caliber of players. There's even like players that could even be better than Savinho, like an Ademola Lookman. If you ever watch Sean Butler, he's a big fan of Ademola Lookman. He always says that, you know, he can score goals, he can assist, and he's strong now. He's really physically strong. You know, he can play all across the front three. He can play in the 9, he can play on the right, he can play on the left. So that could be a better option for us than Savinho, because he would be cheaper and he's already played in the Premier League before, so he knows what to expect. So there's a lot to it in this transfer window, and there's a lot we need to get done. Now, I've done a video before this as well about the left back we should get in and a midfielder that we should get into, because they're two key areas I think we need to improve on as well. I think Biss will be out the door at some point. Ben Davies is going to be out the door at some point. You know, Brennan Johnson might be going, Matisse Tell. We need to replace all these players. And if January is, for us, it's so important to get right. And if we get this right and we sign 4 quality players in that squad, it can really improve us. Now, I'm not the kind of guy that's really been backing Frank to be the best manager in the world. I've never said Frank out. I've just said I'm finding it very, very hard to get behind him. If he can get the right players in the door with the better attitudes and they start winning games, then yeah, of course, we're all going to get behind Frank. I hate this version of people saying you're a flip-flop. If circumstances change, you change along with the circumstances. You don't just ignore the change in circumstances and just stay stubborn to your opinion because you don't want to be accused of flip-flopping. If Frank won the next 10 games, obviously I'm going to say, well, I was wrong. He's doing a very, very good job now. It's not flip-flopping. It's just showing, it's just saying what's happening at the time. And what I'm saying at the time, I'm finding it very hard to get behind Frank because we're losing week after week. We can't beat teams like Fulham. We can't beat teams like Wolves. Wolves are probably the worst team in Premier League history, and we can't beat them either. So at the moment it's very hard, but maybe Frank needs windows, maybe Frank needs time, and maybe Frank needs the summer as well, summer window, to really build the squad in the way that he wants to see it. Only time will tell. It doesn't matter what I say. The board will sack him if they want to sack him. They'll keep him if they want to keep him. But at the end of the day, all I want to see is Spurs winning games. And now if we sign top players that can, like Frank said, change the needle of the game, change, I can't remember what the phrase is, but you know what I'm saying, get a player in that's better, than what we've got. And if we don't get in a player that's better than what we've got, there's no point bringing someone in at all. I really hope that with this Parachichi thing going on, if he leaves, I don't want no excuses of, oh, because Parachichi's gone, we're not going to sign any players now. That would really infuriate me. It really would, because, you know, you've had 6 months to plan for this transfer window and there's no excuses, in my opinion. So let me know in the comments what you would do. Would you sign Savinho or Marmush, or would you try to sign both? Or do you think someone like Ademola Lookman would be better? What's the key areas you think we need to really strengthen our squad in the January window? Thank you for watching. Merry Christmas, everybody. Come on, you Spurs.